MyMac Podcast 870, M1X-Pro Max Ultra.
And welcome everyone to the MyMac.com podcast. And you know, there are times when vastly more important things come up than recording the 870th episode of a long-running podcast. However, going to see the Ravens lose to the Bengals isn't likely on that list. However, what did we miss anyway? You know, well, there was, new processors and laptops and, man, who was paying attention to all that? You know what I mean, guys?
No one was paying attention.
No, nobody. They were like,
I haven't seen anything on the interweb sphere about those new machines at all. All I've heard talk about is the new music option that they've brought out. That's all. Nothing more. Nothing more.
Yeah. Hey, for $5 a month, you too can speak to your phone and bring up a song.
Actually, though, there are a number of people that said they quite like that option. So I have heard that, but yeah, we're taking the mick, really.
That was kind of like, as they were talking about that, and we're not going to, we got some stuff in the second part of the show where we're going to talk about the new laptops. We're not going to go much into Monterey. I just recently installed it. And
yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I've obviously got it on my process to install, but I think we perhaps need to do a bit of a deep dive in a week or two's time, maybe on Monterey.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's working fine. I was not going to do anything until I got all the, until basically Rogue Amoeba came out and said they had all the updates to make, make their stuff work with Monterey, because without Rogue Amoeba has me over such a barrel. They really, really do. It's like, you will not upgrade your computer until we tell you to.
You shall not pass.
Upgrade.
So what have you been doing? What have you been doing? Come on.
Well, I am not particularly well today.
Oh, that's not nice. What's wrong with you?
I got the COVID booster yesterday.
Look, you're not supposed to have an injection to get COVID. You're supposed to have, vaccination. No, it was the booster. It was the booster
to make COVID say, "Oh, okay, here's a new person we can infect." Bing. No, I'm kidding, of course. I had my original shots because I was declared essential personnel. It still makes me laugh.
Yeah,
every time I say
laugh.
that.
You laugh.
Well, it makes everybody else laugh too. They're like, "Wow, he was declared essential personnel." So I got my original shots back in February, and starting probably about a month ago, not long after they announced the boosters were available, my wife, I love my wife. She was like, well, you got those shots back in February, so you should get that booster. It's like, yes, I know. So anyway, I thought I was going to be okay and not get any side effects. And boy, was I wrong. I woke up this morning, I had a slight fever, and I was alternating between being really cold and really hot. And, it's like, basically every single time I've gotten one of these shots, like the next day, it feels like I have the flu for like 8 to 10 hours. And then I'm okay. But it's like that 8 to 10 hour period just sucks.
Yeah.
It really just sucks. But on the bright side,
go on. There's a bright side. That's good.
I bought a new bowling ball on Thursday.
Do you know, the excitement never ends with you, does it?
Never starts either.
No.
Now, I've been using this one particular bowling ball for a while now. I went out and actually bought my own ball and my own shoes because there was a bunch of us from work that were going out on, various days of the week whenever we could all get together. And I throw a straight ball. So the ball I have, it's a 16-pound ball. It's not a light ball, but I throw it as straight as I possibly can. And I've probably gotten about as far as I can as for, being a bowler, throwing a straight ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, let me go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get a weighted ball. And if I don't know how much if you know what a weighted ball is.
Actually, the funny thing is, I saw a very short program on bowling balls, and the amount of science that has to go in to the creation of them and the weighting to make them curve, and how much they put in. I thought, crikey, there's loads. And also, what I didn't realize is that obviously they want the floor to be as slippy as possible, so it skids as well. And I just thought there's a complete science that I just never knew about bowling. So I knew after that program a little bit more than I did previously.
Then you probably never thought you would.
Whenever I've gone bowling, though, I must admit it's house bowling balls that I've used.
Yeah, well, other than one other guy who does use house balls, everybody else that's in the little group that we're in. We're not really in a league. We just kind of show up at this one bowling alley, and we're like, we want 2 lanes, and however many people we have, we just bowl from those 2 lanes.
Yeah.
And other than this one guy, all of us have our own bowling balls. And so now I'm looking forward to on Wednesday. Literally, I'm going to suck eggs on Wednesday because new ball with a new way to throw it down the aisle or down the lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, and the weird thing is that the other guy that also uses house balls, he's got it in his head, and I don't know why, that we're somehow, because we're the 2 worst bowlers in our little group, that he's competing with me. So
yeah, come the next one, when he beats you, that's going to be a big tick.
He gets like really excited when he's beating me. And the last 2 times we've gone bowling, he's beaten me all 3 games that we play. And I don't care. If I did care, I wouldn't be talking about it here. I really don't care. I enjoy bowling. So, but for the next couple of weeks, as when we go bowling, he's going to be ecstatic because I am going to suck hard.
We look forward to your
bowling updates,
your reminiscences about the bowling and how you can now curl the ball and get the highest score you possibly.
We'll see.
Is it 300 the highest score you can get?
300 is the absolute highest score that you can get. Now, the highest score I've ever gotten was a 199.
Cool.
And that was, God, that was back in the 80s. Oddly enough, and I know this is apropos of nothing, as usual, I was in Madagascar, off the east coast of Africa. It's a big island for people who don't know their geometry. And I was at the Hilton Hotel, and at the Hilton Hotel in Antananarivo, Madagascar, they had a bowling alley, a 2-lane bowling alley.
Yeah.
And the guy who kind of maintained the lanes, he never waxed it, never put any of the slippery stuff that it's supposed to have, which is great if you're a straight bowler like I am. So I started bowling, and I was killing it. And I ended up with like a one away from 200, but I got a 199, and I've never been able to do that since. So,
okay. Well, I've been AWOL for the last couple of weeks, as you're probably aware, Guy.
Yeah.
And it's been half term here, and as my dear lady Mrs. Gaz is.
Wait, what is half term?
So basically, we have sessions through the year. Obviously, they start the new school year in September.
Yeah.
And then they have a break mid-term. Anyway, so she works at school, so she's been off. So we've been gallivanting around London, and I don't know, you may have seen me posting some updates about me walking around London.
I put some stuff in.
Oh yeah, I mean, if anybody, this is a pre-Gaz's tip because it's not really a Mac tip, if I'm honest. But if you ever go to London, folks, and you've got any sort of capacity to walk around London, folks, you'll see so much more.
Beautiful
And
city.
it is fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I could go back there week after week and just wander around the streets. It's just brilliant. Anyway, so I've been away.
I had some girl give myself and the guy I was traveling with a hard time because she passed us by. It was late at night and we were half lit. And as she walked by, the guy I was traveling with just kind of looked at her. I had no idea where this came from. He was like, "Oh, nice hair." And she turned around and looked at him and said, "Piss off."
Piss off.
Piss off. In that uniquely London woman way that lets you know that she feels absolutely would have no compunction whatsoever to kill you.
Yeah.
If she had the means to do so.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've been doing all sorts of bits and going to arboretums and traveling around and just enjoying ourselves. So that's why, and going to shows and all sorts of stuff. So that's why I've been AWOL. However, Gaz is back, and Gaz has some snippets. So apparently, Apple has confirmed, Guy, the Apple Card 6% cashback was an error. But they will issue.
Wait, 6%?
Yes.
I wish I'd known about that. I would have gone out bought all kinds of crap.
But they will issue credits to affected users who thought that they actually were getting 6% and only got
now it's
3%. So you're only normally eligible for 3%, but they've confirmed it's an error, but they're going to issue credit. So that's very nice of them.
Well, I mean,
that tells me one of two things.
Can Apple spare the money?
Well, that tells me one of two things.
Yeah.
Either Apple really didn't have that many sales on that 3%, so it's not going to cost them so much, or they really do want the PR. I have a feeling I know which it is. Apparently, Apple says, excuse me, sorry, for those watching on the video, I'm having to fiddle with my earpiece because it's kind of falling out. Sorry. Apple says that the MacBook Pro notch is a really smart design feature, Guy.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, where else were you going to put a 1080p camera?
Well,
which we will go into more in the next part.
Yeah, especially with a new screen, which has got a very small bezel. But we'll get more into that. Apple TV Plus is to launch in South Korea last week, I think this was, alongside Dr. Brain original series.
Have you been? Did you watch Squid Games? Did they have that over there in the UK?
I haven't watched Squid Games, no.
I watched the first episode.
Is that on Apple TV?
Is it?
If it's not on Apple TV, I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Then we won't talk about it. I think it's in Amazon.
Apple are working on a non-invasive blood glucose monitoring for the Apple Watch Series 8, so I might have to wait.
No, I want an invasive one. And we'll call it old. We'll call it Old Squirty.
Ow! Ow!
Yeah. What are you doing? I'm checking my blood glucose level. You. Ow!
We shouldn't joke.
Yeah,
but we will.
We will.
Now 15.1 come out, so all of you should be on 15.1 now, possibly, because I was correct in my previous one when I said 15.0.2 when we had that discussion. But I won't dwell on it, will I, Guy?
Too late.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
You already dwelled on it.
tvOS 15.1.
Guys, you are absolutely right.
It's a bit slow.
I know. It took me a minute to find it. And you know what I get because of that? That's what I get.
Thank you. Will you let me finish?
Yes.
Apple has released tvOS 15.1 with SharePlay and HomePod 15.1 with lossless support. So go out and get it if you haven't already. You may also have noticed that they've released 8.1 for your watch. And also, should you upgrade to macOS Monterey? If you haven't, and if you think, I'm not sure whether I should, maybe Guy and Gaz in the near future might give you a hint as to whether you should and give you all of the updates as to what comes with it. Won't we, Guy?
Remember.
If we remember.
If we remember.
But Monterey's available. I've not heard too many complaints. I've not heard too many complaints about
actually,
it, actually.
It's been pretty solid.
Pretty stable. Okay, so could be a good upgrade to go for, but don't take it on our advice. Not yet, at least.
Not yet.
Not yet, my friend. Gall blimey, governor. You can now.
Are we doing like the whole Oliver thing?
No,
right now?
No.
The Artful Dodger.
Oh, I love that film. You can now AirPlay from iPhone or iPad to a Mac with macOS Monterey. Cool. That's one advantage.
Or you could just bring it up on your Mac through the Movies app.
Sometimes I really never get some of these processes.
Yeah. It's kind of like if you have something on your phone, you can push that movie up to your Mac.
The thing is,
can I just play that anyway?
Yeah, but 5 years ago, that might have been really useful. But now, especially with all of the systems integrating and having the similar apps and same apps, you can do it without. I don't get it. Someone will tell us why it's really useful, won't you, folks? You will.
Yeah. Anyway, I am so far behind on my Woodies. I don't even know who to send Woodies to at this point.
These snippets are becoming snappets. The M1 Max MacBook Pro apparently beats a 5K iMac with Intel Core i9 AMD Radeon 5700 XT in a benchmark, while on battery power. Wow, I think we'll be talking about the M1 Max in a little while, so maybe come back to that.
Never mind. We'll talk about Intel and Apple and marketing when we get to
yeah. Apple has released a 14.8.1 with security fixes for devices not currently running iOS 15 or devices that cannot. Interestingly enough, I had the update on my phone to 14.8.1, and then below it, I suddenly saw, you can also upgrade to 15. And I thought, okay, all right, I'll take it. Apparently, Guy, Apple spent $64.8 million on paid search ads in 2020. Can I just repeat that to you?
Yeah.
64.8 million on paid search ads. Do you know where most of those search ads probably went to?
Google?
Probably Alphabet.
That's okay, because Alphabet is paying Apple gazillions of dollars to make Chrome the default browser or something.
Just goes to show how much money certain companies, not just Google, get from advertising.
On one hand, we give it away, and then we take it back in on the other.
iOS 15.1 is... I've said that all right. And I'll come back to that. Apparently, Apple are facing Russian investigation into alleged monopolistic app store behavior. Well, we'll wait and see.
They would know, wouldn't they?
They would know.
Russia would know all about that. Elections coming up there in Russia.
It's all about
the opposition's in jail.
It's all about the politics. It's all about the politics. Don't talk to me about the French and fishermen. Just don't do it, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, Guy, you'll find this funny. Apple have been sued in China. Do you know why?
That is funny.
Do you know why?
Why?
Well, for not including the iPhone chargers in the box.
You mean the same iPhone chargers and the same phones in the same box that they make in China?
Yeah. They didn't. They failed to include the iPhone chargers. Yeah, but
that's a fail on China's part.
Well, but the thing is, Apple said, "Well, blame Europe because they didn't want them." Apple have announced 10 new Power for Impact projects to tackle climate change. Good. And you can do more, Apple. That's all I'm going to say. Amazon TVs to support AirPlay 2 and HomeKit. I thought I'd get a better reaction out of you from that.
Well, I'm still trying to think what Amazon TV is. I know that
Amazon TVs. Amazon TVs.
I mean, physical
TVs. Yes.
Wasn't even aware they sold them.
Well, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
They've got their own branding. You see,
And I'm sure they're not rebranded from some other company.
Absolutely, they are. And the thing is, Guy, this is what Amazon do. They basically get all these market sellers and companies to come on to sell their product. They see what is selling really well, where to position their own brand, and then put it in and say, yeah, aren't we lovely? We're selling you this at a nice cheap price and we're making more money on it. I'm saying no more.
How come Amazon doesn't sell microphones? Oh, wait, they do.
Someone sent me a picture. Someone sent me a picture of a whole rack of microphones. Thank you, Mr. Apter. Apparently, Apple stock surged over 2.5% ahead of the earnings release.
Huh.
Apple
almost like they knew it was going to be really good news.
Apple reports a quarter 4 2021 earnings miss of $83 billion in revenue. Apple reports fourth quarter 2020 results, $20.6 billion profit on that $83.4 billion revenue.
So basically 25% profit margin.
Well, it'd be more than that, wouldn't it? No, it's about that. Yes. Yeah. About 25%. Yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Apple reports all-time quarterly revenue record for Macs with strong demand for the M1 MacBook Air. I think that MacBook Air for the everyday user is an absolute classic now. And I think the M1 MacBook Air is just a superb machine for anybody coming into that environment.
As long as you don't need more than one monitor.
Yeah.
Connected to it.
Which, but most people don't most of the time.
I know, most people don't. Which is why when everybody went like all crazy on it, it was like, oh God, shut up. Just all of you. Stop whining.
Yeah. Get a life. Tim Cook says supply constraints cost Apple $6 billion during the quarter 4 2021.
Really? That's all? I mean, no, I'm not being facetious. That's a serious question.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
You know, everybody else has got all of their crap on cargo ships that can't get into Los Angeles or San Francisco. And Apple's like, nah, we're pushing them over on gold-plated 747s. We don't care.
Yeah, that's environmentally
sure. And we just drop them right off the back of that gold-plated 747, and it just falls right down to an Apple store. Little parachute opens up at the end. Bing.
even has the right name on it.
Does.
Apparently, Tim Cook also said we're focused on maintaining privacy and security of the App Store. Good, Tim. Make sure you do, please.
Well, everybody is trying to get him to not do that.
Yeah, I know. Well, he says they're focused.
Hopefully he will stand his ground.
Good. Apple says it's not surprised by a strong demand for its $19 polishing cloth, which is now on back order to 2022. I want an Apple polishing cloth now. Do you know, actually...
they've got a sale right now on the iPod Hi-Fi, so get them while they're hot, folks.
I've just thought, actually, that's probably a reasonable Christmas present, and that's where everybody's gone, get in early so I can get my Christmas present for my favorite Apple...
piece of cloth that cleans a screen.
It's very special. It's a very special... Okay. I'll say no more.
Yeah.
Apparently, Apple executives have addressed the lack of Face ID and touchscreens on Macs. I didn't bother to read it because I'm not that bothered.
No. And oddly enough, neither are most people.
Good. And this one that came in just a few moments ago, Guy.
Ooh.
Apple
breaking news.
Well, hardly. Apple apparently have discontinued the Intel-based 21.5-inch iMac. I thought
Tim's like, okay, all those ones that are left, just push those right over to the refurb store, and we'll get rid of them that way. Look at this special price on these Intel Macs. They're 25% off. What's our profit margin again? 25%. They're 25% off. And they'll be good for at least a year.
And that, folks, is the end of Gaz's snippets.
You'd never know I was sick.
You wouldn't, you see. I'm glad I can cheer you up. I've got no Gazzy's links. There was one that I saw on the BBC website talking about Apple, but it wasn't really that funny. So I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
There's lots of other things going on.
There are so many.
So shall I take us out in a London accent?
Take us out there. What's his name?
Attempted.
No, the Artful Dodger.
Artful. All right, Oliver.
The awful Dodger.
All right, Oliver. What you got to do, you see, my friend,
steal all kinds of shit. Almost said a bad word.
Is stand by. You can't say that, guy.
I can't say that. Bad
stand
word, guy.
by. Will you let me finish?
I will.
In fact, I'm so fed up with you now. I'm going to let someone else do it if I can find it, which I can't. So I'm going to have to do it. Stand by. The standby. I will be right back. Hi, everyone, and welcome to point 2, or the second section. The second section of the mighty MyMac podcast with the G-Men. I have to get that in, Guy, because I just like calling us the G-Men.
Yeah.
It's like we should be Marvel characters, shouldn't we, or DC characters, and have a film made.
Here's the thing. I have been looking for a new project in relation to podcasting.
Right.
And one of the things that keeps going back and forth in my mind would be something called the Stupid News Network. And where that comes from is the back and forth that you and I have during Gaza snippets. And I'm thinking that instead of talking about just Apple stuff, we take news, regular news.
I see where you're going.
Give it a stupid spin.
Yeah, I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Nothing would go wrong. Nothing at all would go wrong.
Absolutely nothing.
Anyway,
piss anybody off.
We don't normally. What is this M1?
We never get any feedback.
Will you let me finish?
Yes.
What is this M1 madness you're talking about? Because if you say M1 to anyone in the UK, they go, "Oh yes, that's a motorway going up the middle of the country."
Yeah, I love that road.
So
doesn't that go all the way down to Brighton too?
No, it doesn't.
What's the road that goes to Brighton?
Hang on a minute. Right, ask that question again.
Okay, what, Gaz, is the road? The main drag?
No. Ask the question about Brighton. Does it go all the way to Brighton?
Does it go all the way down to Brighton?
No.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Steve.
It goes to London. That's it.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't just go to London. That'd be the M25. It goes north as well, and it ends up near Leeds or somewhere.
Around there. Someplace that they kind of looked out their door and said, "Wow, is that the M1? Where'd that come from?"
Anyway,
look at all this traffic. Damn.
Anyway. Back to Apple M1.
Apple. Is that what we were talking about? In what came as a shock to probably no one ever, Apple's October event rolled out the new MacBook Pros. These laptops are finally more deserving of the moniker Pro by distinguishing themselves from the M series MacBook Air and its fraternal twin, the 13-inch MacBook Pro. How, may you ask? Even though nearly 2 weeks after the event makes this more or less a rhetorical question, maybe. The newish processors in these two laptops are the M1 Pro and the M1 Max. And really, the basic structure of this chip remains the same, with the big difference being that it's got 10 CPU cores and up to 32 GPU cores, which is just crazy. As compared to the M1, which has 8 and 8, if you get the better one. And if you have Elon Bezos money, you can add up to 64 gigabytes of unified memory, which is what we used to call RAM, and up to 8 terabytes. This is in a laptop, 8 terabytes of internal storage. 8 friggin' terabytes. To round this out, the new laptop's joined up with 2015 to give us a 1080 webcam and an amazingly marketed liquid Retina XDR display. And Gaz, I have no idea what that is supposed to mean, along with buzz terms like, and this did make me laugh, factory calibrated display.
Well, I should hope it is.
Yes, aren't all displays factory calibrated?
One would
Since
hope.
nearly every laptop that leaves the factory goes right to somebody's house, they damn well better be calibrated. It's like you get this new laptop, you turn it on, I got a blank screen. Oh, see, what you don't understand.
They missed this one.
Yeah, you were supposed to calibrate it when you got it. When you got it in your house, turn it on. Get out that little pocket screwdriver that we include and tweak it until the screen comes on. And good to go. Yeah, that saved us 32 cents per laptop to do it that way. So that was
Tim's
important.
all about saving money.
He is. Tim is all about that. Now, two things made the event kind of special. Okay. The return of some legacy ports.
Yes.
On the MacBook Pros and of course, and the new processors. They got bumped up to 10 and 32, as we talked about earlier. 14 and 16-inch shiny displays. And a 1080 webcam right in the middle of the menu bar.
Didn't I say something about 14-inch Macs the week before?
You did. You did. So
I'm just polishing my badge.
But the big deal,
my badger,
like the Michigan Badgers.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's a football college. You know what? I can't even think of where I was going to go with that.
Carry on.
I'm going to carry on. Ports include, finally, 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports or USB-C, the return of an SDXC card slot, MagSafe for power, and they still include, it's off of everything else that they make, they still include a headphone port.
I
don't have them on the phones.
No,
don't have them on. I don't think you have them on the iPods anymore.
No,
well, no, maybe the iPods still have them.
I think that's important for a MacBook though, because I saw that and laughed, and then I thought, no, that actually makes quite a lot of sense, really. Especially if you want to ping it up to speakers and stuff, because speakers very often are kind of still with that sort of port configuration, aren't they? And you don't have a HDMI port on your speakers very often. I interrupted you. Sorry,
no, that's fine. You can do it through Bluetooth, but Bluetooth the Macs lately, I don't want to even talk about that because it has not treated me well.
Now, I did interrupt you earlier, and obviously you did mention here about the shiny displays and the 1080p camera in a certain position.
Yeah. 1080p camera. 1080p camera right there in the middle of the menu bar. And a lot of people seem to be really, really upset over the webcam being there in the middle. But the trade-off of that, of course, is the bezels, you say bezels, I say bezels, are much smaller. And honestly, it's the middle of the menu bar. And there's a reason why it's as wide as it is, because there's other electronics in there besides just the 1080p webcam. Go ahead.
I did hear a lot of people like you complaining about it, but then actually
I didn't complain about it. I'm not complaining about it.
No, sorry. I did hear a lot of people, like you heard a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Complaining about it. But actually, I also then heard some of those people, once they got it, said, it's actually not so bad. It's not so bad. It's okay. It's, it's kind of part of the menu bar, and some apps that actually move the menu bar out of the way, it's not affecting my, my vision of that particular app too much. So I think the benefits of having it there in that setup far outweigh the negatives. So
yeah. And
other than it's a 1080p.
Do you think Apple will continue having that top menu bar, or do you think that they'll eventually move it off of that and put it onto individual windows? Kind of like what Linux and Windows does.
My word, I hope not.
Oh, you like having the big menu bar at the top?
I like it where it is, and I like the fact that I can clear it off.
Yeah, there is a way to do it. There's a utility that I can't think of what it is off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it at all. I don't have a problem with it. And if it does, the only advantage it gives you is you've got the menu bar. If you've got lots of windows open and you want to flip from one window to the other on a big screen, then, you know, as soon as you give it focus, the menu bar would be within that window rather than having to go back to the top of the screen and then find the menu bar. So, you know, there is an advantage to having it within the window of the application that you've got. But, you know,
at the same time, having it always in that at one place, you know where it is. Always.
Absolutely. And the thing is also, if you've got it, where was I going to go with that? One, you then lose real estate because you've got the menu bar in the application itself. So you would lose a bit of real estate there.
Yeah, in order to have a menu bar that was big enough for you to be able to see whatever the hell it is you're trying to do.
Especially if you make that window that much smaller. And, you know, it keeps it consistent. And most people that want to use it efficiently will learn what the keyboard shortcuts are. So they won't be particularly using the menu bar that much. So, you know, they only use the menu bar when you're kind of looking for stuff. So knowing it's always at the top in a certain position, I wouldn't want to go that route down having.
I've got most of the command shortcuts down, and this is after I've been using Mac since 1987. You tell me that there's a shift in a keyboard menu. And it's like, I'm sorry, that's magic. I have no idea what it is you're trying to do there. I can't remember that. It's just too much. But getting back to the laptops, finally, multiple displays are possible without tricks. And we say a sad goodbye, Gaz, to the touch bar. Sad face. Bye, touch bar.
Bye, touch bar. Did you ever use one?
I never did. I never owned one that had one.
Nor did I. So we both got sad faces for a object that we never use
for satirical reasons, because we just don't care. And I know there's a lot of people out there that love the touch bar, both of you, and we're so sorry for your loss.
Keep your old machine.
Keep your old machine. Intel is already claiming they have a new i9 out that has better benchmarks. But they have that basically in a desktop machine. And of course, the M1 Max and the M1 Pros are only currently available in a laptop, which makes sense because this i9 from Intel uses considerably more power than the M1 Pro or the Max, which will make a huge difference if Intel ever drops those Intel laptops.
You know, when they pull the big power levers down to turn the power on, and those old Frankenstein movies, and all the lights go out. That's what happens now with these Intel machines.
You've got a little guy in the laptop going, "Master, I don't think that's enough. There's just way too much power being used. It's all right, Igor. I have it hooked up to lightning." Oh wait, no, that's an Apple thing. Sorry. But that's, I mean, unless you got something else, that was basically my kind of takeaway. And we didn't even talk about the AirPods, but they're new AirPods.
Yeah, I don't. You know, I need AirPods with buds because even though they've adjusted the shape slightly, the AirPods don't fit my ears. I don't like.
I need AirPods that actually work with Bluetooth on a Mac. Crazy, right?
I'm gonna crazy. I'm not gonna say any more. I think there was quite a bit of discussion about the weight difference because there's a bit of an increase in weight, which a lot of people will say, fine if it's giving me more battery life. Although the weight difference isn't that bad when people actually get them. Also the size differential and the thickness differential. But again, some people were comparing them to some older machines and saying, actually, it's almost like a throwback to some of their old power books.
It is,
especially with the design.
That's not a bad thing.
No, absolutely not.
I think what Apple,
and that's why
Johnny Ive
can I just jump in? That's kind of why I said I think the MacBook Air is a brilliant machine for
It
the
is.
everyday user, being a light machine. And if you need the power, then you've got to go and say, right, I've got to decide whether I want a big, heavy machine, which is going to give me the battery life, going to give me all the power. Do I need it? This MacBook Air is fine. So, yeah.
And at this point, you can probably pick up a 13-inch MacBook Pro, which has a slightly better screen, I think, for a song, because now everybody wants the latest.
I can
hotness,
sing.
Which is, can you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well, you said I can get it for a song.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sing now because you're not going to give me one, are you?
You see, Apple's not going to tell you what the song is that you have to sing to get one.
And there are a lot of songs to sing.
There's a lot of songs. It's like, okay, that wasn't it. 1,300,467. Check.
You mentioned there about the Johnny Ive design thing.
Yeah.
I do often wonder though, Guy, whether a lot of his design work wasn't only driven by him, but also driven by Steve's vision on products and how they
very
should
well
be.
Could be.
Because a lot of people go, "Oh, Johnny Ive this, Johnny Ive that," but actually, I think him and Steve were
that guy. Okay,
that guy, Wozniak. Well, him and Steve Jobs were I think like that. They were really close guys. So I think so I think if his design ethic hadn't have suited Steve Jobs, vision,
he wouldn't have been there for very long.
Correct.
It's not like Steve is like, okay, I'm going to give you 4 more chances to get this right.
Yeah.
Steve was like, I'm looking at this and it's crap and you're gone.
Yeah. So a lot of people, kind of blame Ives for the design of things.
But,
I shouldn't have gone.
Remember, Steve Jobs died
and I agree with it. I agree with
2011.
that. Yeah, I know, but there was still an ethic there, wasn't there? And it continued, and then Ive went, because then you get a different. And I think Ive went before a lot of the changes started kicking in. I've got a feeling he could see, well, my design ethic now doesn't suit what the organization wants. So fine, I'm going to move on, which is
I'll go design hotel lobbies for Christmas displays.
Yeah, which you can't actually fit into because they're so thin.
Like the Christmas displays.
Moving on.
It's just like Santa Claus, but he's really thin. That's how he gets down the chimney.
Yes.
Wow, boy, that went in a weird direction.
I agree with you. It didn't.
Are you nodding your head?
I might be.
No.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
It hurts my head when I do that.
It's time for
Gaz's tips.
I'm still doing it anyway.
Guy says to me, it hurts my head when I do that. Well, don't do it. That's tip 1.
Ow, ow, ow.
Tip 2 is, and I think I definitely said this before, but I'm going to remind people because I used it recently and it was just so easy. If you want to add a signature to a document, you can add a signature to the preview app to sign papers fast and effortlessly. So basically go in the preview app and then navigate to Tools, Annotate, Signature, Manage Signatures. There you can input your signatures, you can find your signatures that you've got, and then you can add them to that PDF, for instance, that you've just opened up. So using signatures in your Mac documents couldn't be easier. I do it in Pages as well.
Yep.
Try it, folks. It just is simple.
Ooh, I see some head nodding.
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Whoa.
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
Dizzy there for a minute.
Oh,
of course, some people say, isn't that kind of your default state there, Guy?
Yeah. Might be.
Kind of is. Kind of is.
It is.
We would love to hear from all of you about how much you like or dislike the MyMac.com podcast. And if you would please go to the podcatcher of your choice, wherever it is that you get this show, do a review, let me know about it. And assuming that I don't lose my mind, and that's always an iffy thing, you can get a Woo T, which is a big W, big O, big O, big T, little I, little E. That spells Woody. And that is an amazing thing that everyone who has one really, really likes. Just ask them. They like them. If you'd like to help contribute to the show, you can go to Patreon, patreon.com/Macparrot. You can go to Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. You can also go to PayPal at paypal.me/Macparrot. Very good. And Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you and say, why the hell would we contribute when we can just get this for free?
Well,
how would they do so?
We need you to contribute to make us feel like we're doing something not worthwhile, because we know it's not worthwhile. Make us feel that
but we're okay with
like us to do it. You know, you're okay with the crap that we're putting out week in, week out. So
give us money for it then.
Send an email to Gaz at mymac.com, G-A-Z.
Of course.
mymac.com. Or you can contact me on the Twitters, twitter.com/Gazmaz, G-A-Z, M-A-Z. Or you can contact both Guy and myself on the Twitters, twitter.com/Guy and Gaz, G-Y-A-N-D-G-A-Z. Crikey, we got a long way to Z cars then, didn't we? Oh, blimey, what's going on? I'm getting notified on my phone. I haven't put it on silent. Oh, it's just buzzing. Okay, you can also send an email to...
You need to set up focus, because that works so well.
You can also send... We should tell the people about that, unless you've got that recorded already.
I think I have it recorded.
You can also send an email to feedback@mymac.com. That's FEEDBACK at mymac.com. Now...
His name was Guy.
He's the guy.
Guy?
You remember Guy? Guy's the one.
No fooling.
If you want
an email from Guy,
how would they do it?
Oh, it is so easy. Just go and open up that email client and in the send field, put podcast at vertshark.com. And of course, you can still do Guy at mymac.com if you want.
I've lost me. That's better.
There we go. There it is. That's all you can play. You can't play anything more than that, or I get strikes. You can also reach me on the Twitters. I am both Macparrot as well as vertshark. What else? There's Guy's Daily Drive that I do once or twice a week, or I record a podcast while driving in my car.
That's safe.
What could possibly go wrong there? What else? I talked about all the ways that you can send money. I'm really sorry, folks. I am really not feeling that well.
Guy's not feeling well, guys. So let's get through it and move on to the next bit, which is the Skippy number.
The Skip telephone number. We're gonna Skype to the Skip telephone number, Gaz, and that number is 703-436-9501. Or I'll tell you that number again, because that's the way the bit works. 703-436-9501. 1 or plus 1. Or just take that 1 or plus 1, give it a COVID shot, and then throw it away. And then go right to the Skype application and dial 703-436-9501. And that's all you got to do.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you all so very, very much for joining us today, or whatever day that you're actually listening to the show. Wow, I need to get some rest. We love the fact that you download the show, and there's, lots of thanks to you for doing that. Okay, Gaz. Wow. Issues. Yeah. I have issues, Gaz.
Yeah. Did you say? Did you say I think we're good enough?
No, not yet. I think that Gaz is good enough, and he's definitely smart enough, and that doggone it, Wilf. People like Gaz. Not me when I'm sick, but yeah, Gaz.
No, we do. We love you when you're sick. You just got to get better really soon.
I gotta get some drugs in my system.
DJ COVID, Ali, Seprivio, I, Pukchefekichi, Sine, Dase, Sutrandian, Oshekapan, Kaban, Kyle Schmecky.
Schmecky.
folks. I've just killed Guy.
Oh,
Guy.
yes.
Mrs. Gaz said to me the other day, would I please stop making references to Bruce Willis movies? I said, sorry, babe. Old habits die hard. And
or Die Hard 2. 3. It's a good day to die hard.
And.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and go home.